folks. This is ExParrot, and I'm kind of going to do an impromptu stream here. I'm going to do a casual core set 2019 booster draft, one of the 750 gem ones. I don't have 5,000 gold built up at the moment. That's alright, I got gems. Best of one matches. 6 wins gets you the break-even point? I don't know why I'm having difficulty speaking tonight. I haven't even been drinking. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this underway. So, first card, let's see. Surge Mare is an interesting one. Solid blue in order to play it. Diamond Mare kind of fits well into any deck, I think. Electrify is a great card. Banefire is a great card. Rapid Bite. This is a decent pack. I'm going to go with Banefire. I could always use another. Alrighty, so. Got some choices here. Daybreak Chaplain is a nice little blocker. Hold on one second. Explosive Apparatus is a decent artifact. That's a shock in an artifact form. Not a big fan of a Johnny's Last Stand necessarily. It doesn't seem strong enough. It doesn't do anything immediately when it hits the board. And you're trying to rely on your opponent discarding something out of your hand is probably not going to see much use. Aviation Pioneer is decent. Bristling Boar. I think I'm going to go with Explosive Apparatus because it can be used in any deck. Alpine Moon. There's a card that just... It just really has no use in Standard, let's be honest. Plummet is a decent removal spell. Havoc Devils, I think, is a decent creature. I mean, you're paying 4 mana for a 4/3 with Trample, but still. Not necessarily sold on Catalyst Elemental. I'm going to go with the Havoc Devils. I'm kind of already moving myself into white-red doing this, I know. You're not really supposed to do that on the first pack. But I have a terrible habit of doing that. Frilled Sea Serpent, I got beat down pretty hard by that. Because that unblockable thing can make it an in-game winning card. Hostile Minotaur or Novice Knight. Let's go... I'll go with the Hostile Minotaur. Novice Knight's not bad. So let's see. Spark Tongue Dragon is a good dragon. Good flyer. Trusty Pack Beast will let me recycle my Explosive Apparatus. I'm going to go with the dragon. Good big flyers are hard to come by. So, Zoom Descenter's not bad. Oresco Swiftclaw demands a block. I'll go ahead and take that one. Make a Stand seems like a really good combat trick to me. So I would Inspire Charge, but I think another creature's going to work out for me. There's a Knight's Pledge. I'll definitely take Knight's Pledge. Let's go with the sideboard card. Smelt. Sure Strike or Catalyst Elemental. Well, I could always use creatures. Now, do I want creatures enough to play a Field Creeper is the question. I don't really have anything that triggers off of it, but I don't really need Mighty Leap either. So let's take the Field Creeper, just have an extra creature. Frilled Sea Serpent, Revitalize. Really? Seriously? I don't think I'll need it. Well, an extra sideboard card's nice. Okay, Sigil Sword of Valerian. This is a first pick. I mean, there's just no if, ands, or but. It's a great equipment card that works in any deck and creates extra creature tokens, and when your creature dies, you just move it to something else. Very hard to answer unless they play something like Smelt. So, Sigil Sword of Valerian, snap pick. Let's face it, I'm not likely to ever cast it, but I wouldn't mind having it for standard. So Nicol Bolas. It'd be very tempting. Wow, that's okay. That's very loud in the hick for the sound. Shock. I mean, can't go wrong with shock, straight up. There's some good creatures there. Phylactery Lich is absolutely useless for my deck. Really, if I'm staying in color, Knight of the Tusk is the only card. So, Dwarven Priest versus Trusty Pack Beast. I'm going to take the Pack Beast, because if they somehow destroy the Sigiled Sword, I can get it back. I don't think I can go wrong with a Rustwing Falcon. So I'm picking Boros colors. Gearsmith Guardian. Not as useful for my deck, given that I don't have a blue creature. Unless I suddenly decide to splash colors for Nicol Bolas, which would be really not a good idea. But honestly, Goblin Motivator is really just eh. So I may take the Gearsmith Guardian after all. Let's see. Yes, I see the Meandering River. It could give me the blue, but let's face it. I'd be splashing a blue and a black mana, hoping to draw them and Nicol Bolas just to be able to play it. So we're going to go with the Pack Beast instead. I think a Knight's Pledge is not a bad card. I think we'll go ahead and throw in Plummet as a sideboard card, just in case I need it. We'll even take a Tranquil Expanse to help with it. Really? Am I going to go 3 colors because of this? Yeah, I guess I am. I don't need a ton of combat tricks. I guess I'll go with 3 Revitalize. There's a Sure Strike. Okay. Again, I'm rare drafting. Vivian Reed. Why would I need a Mythic Wildcard? I could just take that. So, Militia Bugler. It's one of those that's kind of tricky to decide if I want to keep it because I don't have necessarily a ton of creatures that it can find. But 2/3 Vigilance is not bad. I'm going to go with a little bit of haste. Probably not the best choice. Gutter Snipe. Gutter Snipe seems good. Active Treason. Electrify is great. I'm going to take Electrify. Here we have a Shock or a Viashino Pyromancer. Or Lava Axe. But Lava Axe is not that great. Oh, I want that Pyromancer, but Shock is just a better card, I think. There's an Alpine Moon. We'll go with the Devils. I was very tempted to take that. We'll take the Dragon Egg. The Ogre is eh. Honestly, 4/2 for 3 mana is not bad. But not the most spectacular, although with a Knight's Pledge it can make it really nice. Sigil Sword of Valerian is not going to really work with it. So it's either the Ogre or the Swift Claw. I like the Swift Claw. It's a personal choice. Other choices, we're going to go with Thrustwing Falcon again. Now I have a choice between Invoke the Divine or Smelt. Let's go with Invoke the Divine. Catalyst Elemental? I guess. Active Treason versus Hostile Minotaur. I think Hostile Minotaur is going to win me more games. Fire Elemental? Better than nothing. Take a Temper Gorge, why not? Goblin Motivator because it's in my color, and a Mountain. Alright, so now it is time to sort out this deck. Nicol Bolas goes away for sure. We're going to drop those into the sideboard for now. We're also going to drop those because I'm not splashing any colors right now. I think I've got enough cheap creatures that I can drop the Field Creeper safely. I think Crash Through and Goblin Motivator aren't going to be good enough. Smelt is going to straight up be a sideboard card. Revitalize can go. Invoke the Divine can go. I mean, Invoke Divine's great against Luminous Bombs, but again, it's a sideboard card. So I still have 6 cards to drop. Let's see, how many non-creature spells do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm really thinking I need to go ahead and drop some other stuff. Let's see. Since I've got shock and such, I may actually drop the explosive apparatus. Although, I mean, it's another shock that can go straight to the face. But we'll see if I think I'll need it. I think I'm good on the upper end of things. I can drop Gearsmith Guardians. 5 mana, 3/3 flying, or 5 mana, 3/5 not flying. Plus this one, if I have extra mana, can let me bolt a target. A lot of haste at the 4 mana slot, which I like. Electrify only hits creatures, but that's fine. I'm really thinking I want to play 17 land with this deck because I've got enough stacked on the high end of things. I may regret that, though. Of course, Pack Beast isn't as useful if I don't have artifacts to bring back that much. I only have the 1. Hopefully it won't get destroyed. If they pack Artifact Destruction, I can bring in the Pack Beast. Yes, it's a 2/3 blocker. I'm still not feeling. I may keep the Catalyst Elementals in because that sacrifice may help me ramp up to something early. Banefire will be a good in-game finisher. Drop one of those. And these aren't haste, so I'm going to drop one of those. Why not? Let's go for it. What's the worst that could happen? 0-3? I still get a booster pack, right? I still get to keep... I mean, the fact I drafted Nicol Bolas and Vivian Reed already means that I've earned my 750 gems straight up. All red mana and 2 white spells in the hand and 2 red spells. Well, 17 lands, it won't be long before I pull a white source of mana. He said, haha. First turn, Gearsmith Prodigy. So I'm going to pass with Shock up. He's going to drop a Marauder's Axe. Probably swing. And I will say, nee. There's the shock. Well, remember how I said I was going to draw white mana? Remember how I laughed at the thought? Leonid Vanguard, good creature. And a Marauder's Axe is gonna... Marauder's Axe is gonna be a pain. I will have to sideboard in some removal. Oop, cancel. That's not a good creature. This is a good creature. Bad Deadpool versus good Deadpool. Now we have a Drake. That flies. But you know what? My Dragon Egg can block it when it becomes a dragon. That flies. So... Hostile Minotaur. He's going to swing in for 3. There's the trade. Nope, he decided he didn't want to trade. He's going to take it. Likelihood is I'm going to take 3 here, which is fine. Because that gives me a chance to untap, drop Knight's Pledge on something. Really? Really, Mirror Image? Really? Why are you doing me dirty like that? He wants to go ahead and move the Marauder's Axe over to one of his Drakes. A Plains would be good. I could drop the Westwing Phoenix, drop Knight's Pledge on it. Or to have a lot of fun, let's go ahead and swing with the Minotaur, and then I can electrify his Snapping Drake on the attack. I know, he was tapped out there, but I don't want to be able to move the axe. I prefer to take the risk that I get a counterspell here. Now he can't move the Marauder's Axe over, so I'm only taking 3 flying. A skilled animator is going to make the axe a 5/5. That's evil. Let's see. Knight's Pledge on the Rustwing Falcon is going to make a 3/4 that can block the mirror image. That Marauder's Axe is going to be a pain in the butt until I find a kill spell for the animator. Mystic Archaeologist. Good card for him. But you know what the real fun is here? If he attacks with the Marauder's Axe, I can double block it, and then I get rid of the equipment. And only lose 1 creature. I'll probably lose the Falcon. Yep. Now I don't have to deal with that piece of equipment. Now I get to return fire with my own artifact. I'm going to swing with the Hostile Minotaur, because I can make a pretty decent trade off of that. Now I'm going to get a Sigiled Sword of Valerian that is going to be able to create night tokens every time I attack. He's spending a lot of time looking at my permanents. I don't know if he's trying to figure out what he wants to do, or if he's trying to decide if he just wants to draw 2 cards off his Archaeologist. I can also drop the Swiftclaw next turn and still have 3 mana open to equip the Sigiled Sword. He wanted to decide which target was more important to use that on. He decides that maybe, just maybe, swinging with the Archaeologist is a bad idea, and he's right. So, we're going to drop the Swiftclaw. We're going to equip the sword to the Rustwing Falcon, because it has Menace now. Or not Menace, but Vigilance. We're going to swing and make a knight. This is going to start compounding things even worse for him, because every time that Rustwing Falcon attacks now, I get a knight. If I decide to block his mirror image with the Rustwing Falcon, we make a very good trade. And he gets put in an even worse position because I can just move the Sigiled Sword over to a different target. He's going to draw 2 cards. I don't know if he's looking for an answer or if he figures he's probably going to block with the Archaeologist. So he's going to go ahead and block the Rustwing, as expected. Skilled Animator. So we're going to go ahead and drop the Spark-Tongue Dragon after. And then when I untap, I can go ahead and equip the sword to any one of my targets, preferably the Spark-Tongue in this case, because it'll guarantee lethal. And be in good shape. Looking for an answer, but he really doesn't have one. Game 1, or first round, I guess I could say, goes to me. Yeah, I haven't done my quests in a couple of days. So, first win. Let's move on. 7-0 is the dream. It's possible. I have confidence in this deck. I have no luminous bonds, but I do have a lot of burn. You know, I just realized I'm sitting here talking about sideboard cards in a best of one match. Anybody who's watching is probably going, "What are you talking about? You can't sideboard in a best of one match." And you're right. So my sideboard cards really aren't useful unless I want to just have this feeling that I'm going to need them. I'm going to take this hand, see how it works. I've got the Sigiled Sword. Once I get to 3 land, that is going to become a nasty threat. He drops the West Wing Falcon. I drop the Swift Claw. That's the Chicago way. Interesting. Second main drops a blocker. Yep. Sigil Sword of Valoron, not Valerian. When you think about it, you attack with the creature, makes a 2/2 knight. If your creature dies, you put the sword on the knight, then that's a 4/2 knight that can attack to make another 2/2 knight. Every turn, you're effectively getting a 4/2 creature with this sword. This is what you call a bomb rare. If my opponent does not have a way to answer it, it is simply going to overwhelm the game very quickly. Enough so that my opponent goes ahead and attacks for 3 and I let him. Daybreak Chaplain, that's cool. You go right ahead and drop the Daybreak Chaplain. Pay 3. Drop that. Combat. Swing, bada, swing. My opponent is mana screwed at the moment, which benefits me as well because it limits the number of creatures he can drop. Sooner or later, he's going to run out of 1 and 2 drops. And it's going to force him into a very difficult position as far as blockers go. Of course, if he keeps dropping 1 and 2 blocks, then it's not going to work as well for me. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Swift Claw because I have 2 mana left over. Equip the sword to the knight. And swing bata. Take a sip of my refreshing, tasty beverage. Opponent still mana light. At some point, my Banefire can come into play and try and take it down a notch. Like, for instance, I will probably have to go ahead and Banefire that Westwing Falcon this turn. I'm going to go ahead and block the Highland game. Yes, he'll gain 2 life, but I have another creature I can swing with. So, Banefire for 4, because otherwise that thing's going to start beating my face every turn. Means no swing with the sword, but since he still has not found mana, yep, he's going to go ahead and resign. So, round 2 to me. I accidentally hit the volumes on my mic or my headphones and almost deafened myself. So guaranteed 200 gems in 1 pack. Still want to get to the break-even point to quote-unquote go infinite. Versus Huntsman. My opening hand shows me 2 mana and no 2 mana creatures, but I have the sword. I gotta throw it back. This is not any better, and I don't have the sword, but I really don't have a choice. So he takes 6 and scries to the top, I take 6 and scry to the bottom. And draw land. Well, them's the breaks, right? Omen Speaker, love that card. So good. scry 2 to the top and draw another land. Well, running 17 land is going to guarantee that sooner or later you're going to draw too much. That's just the way it works. Okay, I need to turn this down a little bit on my headset. Now we have a Death Touch creature, and I draw my third land in a row. Next turn I can drop the Havoc Devils. The advantage is his board is not strong yet. Yet. 0/5 wall doesn't bother me at all. That wasn't meant to rhyme. Okay, we're going to go ahead and throw down the Swift Claw, because it can block the Basilisk and kill it without too much pressure. He may have something in his hand that will reduce the damage. Oh, I'm not going to worry about 1 point of damage. Really? Who throws a shoe, honestly? But mind you, my creatures can't swing at the moment because that Wall of Mist does slow me down a little bit. Yeah, Snapping Drake is going to be irritating. So let's go ahead and have some fun here. Because I know he's going to block with the 6/5 Havoc Devils to trample with the Dragger back Basilisk. And I have him make a stand to save my creature. So I'm going to deal 7 trample damage and kill off his Death Touch creature. Or 5 trample damage, excuse me. I think I said 7. So, and it makes the Havoc Devils big enough now that the Wall of Mist cannot block it to any satisfaction. Eventually, my opponent is going to be forced to have to double block the Havoc Devils. And he can't even do that with the creatures he's got on the board. Uh-oh. Opponent's got a combat trick. Omen Speaker. So you got a +3/+3 or something? Disperse. Okay. That seems kind of weird. I'm going to go ahead and double block it, then disperse it. Why bother blocking? Just disperse it. It does make my Havoc Devils go back to a 4/3 though. So that's a bit irritating. That's big. And here we have the Banefire. God, I really would love to shoot him in the face with it. Which sounds really just terrible and horrible to say it that way. But I got a Banefire that flyer. No attackers, that Vinemare is going to be a pain. I mean, I can block it with the Oresco Swift Claw. I can block it with the Havoc Devils. He's definitely got a defensive board going. Electrify lets me take care of the giant spider. Six Trampler's bad for me. Banefire would be really nice right about now. So it looks like I'm going to be losing a lot on my board here momentarily. Havoc Devil's Catalyst Elemental can block the Dreadmaw. Swiftclaw can block the Vinemare. We'll see if he has a card to blow me out. Because I can't afford to not block. It's lethal if I don't block. It appears no. So, I go down to 1 creature on the board and 8 life. Now we have a 7/7 hitting the board. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cast it, even though I suspect that I am not going to win this game. But I will kill his Omen Speaker just to be that person. And the Gas Spark Twins do trample. I'll take it, go to 1. Let's see if I draw another land. Aviation Pioneer is bad. And there's the land. So, 2 and 1. Kind of flooded out that game. It's going to happen. Panax. Alrighty. Five lands, a creature, and a non-creature spell. No guts, no glory. Wish I could go first one of these games. That would be really nice, though. I like going first, but I miss it. I don't get to do that very often, it feels like. And I know it's not really the case. But every Magic player complains about it. Okay, not every Magic player, but most of them. Let's go ahead and get the early damage out of the way before he Luminous Bonds or finds some other way to deal with it. Well, that works. It was also my only creature, so that rather sucked. Because I'm not seeming to draw another creature. Got plenty left in the deck. Runic Armasaur. You know what the worst problem is with that guy? He is big enough that he can actually survive any of the burn spells I've currently got in hand. And since I'm drawing only land, I am not going to get very much done. Thankfully, it's only got 2 power. I'll go ahead and drop or shock the enchanter now. I don't know if he's got enchantments, but I'm not going to take the risk. And a shock. Worst comes to worst, I can electrify and shock, but I really prefer not to. We're going to say no. You can go ahead and bring it back to your hand if you want sometime, but right now, I'm already taking enough of a beating. Red +5. Well, as luck would have it, Banefire is going to let me kill the Runic Armasaur. Give him 1 less creature to cast that enchantment on. Of course, the problem is I'm drawing every bit of my removal, literally. And I'm not drawing creatures to go with it. So that I'm going to lose sooner or later because I'm not going to have enough mana. Yeah, I'm losing this game to green. Green fatty creatures seem to be doing a number on me this time around. So I finally get to drop another creature. But yeah, I don't have big creatures in this deck. Mind you, the Sigiled Sword would be great. Kind of surprised he didn't drop that on the Dreadmaw. Well, there's the Sigiled Sword. Unfortunately, that thing does trample, but I'm going to go ahead and swing anyway because I'm probably going to lose this game. And I'm really not sure I even care at this point. This will put me to 1. I can always block with make a stand, but the trample damage is going to kill me anyway. Nope, he's not going to swing with the Daybreak Champlain. He's going to hold it back as a defense against my blockers, I guess. This is an interesting... I forgot I had this guy in the deck. So, this guy can block the Colossal Dreadmaw all day. I better leave it back. Play it safe. Wait a minute. That gives me vigilance. I'm a doofus. I just lost 5 points of damage. That could have been really useful because I wasn't thinking. So instead of having him on a 2-turn clock at this point, I have him on a 3-turn clock. And he's got lifelink. Damn it, I forgot about that. Well, doesn't that just suck for me? 10-10. But I've still got make a stand. So we're going to go ahead and block with both creatures. And then make a stand comes out. Creatures I control get +1/+0 indestructible until end of turn. Assuming he doesn't have a pump spell, that means I do exactly 10 damage to Colossal Dreadmaw and kill it. And my creatures don't die. Good game. Wouldn't necessarily say it's good game yet. But I am certainly going to be doing some damage. I think there's still a chance that I lose this game. I'm going to try my best not to. But I'm not going to prematurely celebrate. But that make a stand was pretty backbreaking, all things considered. And they concede. Oh my goodness. 3-1. Here I was ready to give up, and I forgot all about that 3/7 Vigilance who shows up at the right time. Alright, last time I did one of these drafts, I went 3-3. So if I win this time, I'll have done better than last time. Alright, AG37, my opponent this round. This is... I mean, I get to go first, and it's about as good a hand as I can expect. It curves into 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana. But sadly, the 4 mana may not get cast as I drop the Sigil Sword on the Restwing Falcon. Well, I'll cast the Sigil Sword, and then I'll equip it the turn after. Pyromancer. That never came back around to me, but I don't regret picking up Shock over it. Let's see if he plays Smelt main deck. I mean, if the Citrus Sword of Valoron gets destroyed, I have 4 drops. Yeah, I'd much rather trade for the Onaki Ogre. We'll hold up, pretending to have Shock. Just the Rest-Wing Falcon for 3 in the air and the 2 9 on the ground. Which now gives me a great blocker. Uh-oh. I mean, if he has the Shock, no big deal. I just move the sword over to something else. Or he may have Electrify. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and block his board. Make all the knights you want, I got more. Alright, first strike on the Anaki Ogres, not a big deal. It doesn't trample. And another Pyromancer. I can dig it. No, we're going to drop the haste creature this turn. I was sitting here thinking I wouldn't be able to drop another spell because I have to re-equip, and I don't. This is looking very good for me. He's going to block the knight, open the way for his ogre, but it's 7 life to him, 14 to me. I think I'm in pretty good shape. Gets himself a couple blockers. Havoc Devils with nice pledge on them would be funny for me. No blockers. I'll go to 10. To me, I don't think he'll find it as hilarious as I do. Let's go make it a big 6-5 with trample. 3 of it is going to go through for sure. Another 2 if he doesn't... No, he can block the knight. Never mind. He can't block the Rest Wing. Sure strike. Going to kill the hostile Minotaur. Catalyst Elemental gives him another blocker. Now with my 6-5 in the way, blocking is not something he can easily do. And I've got Trample, which is going to make things even better because it guarantees lethal. And I will go to 4-1. In fact, he's just going to go ahead and let it through because he knows he's dead. They. I'm automatically assuming a guy. It's a bad habit. I know. I should get used to saying they. So 4-1 guarantees 450 gems, 1 pack, 30% chance of a bonus pack. We're shooting for the stars here. We're not going for just a simple 4-3. This is a mulligan hand, straight up, period, no argument. I get to go first again. Opponent will keep their hand, and the mulligan's good. No second turn drop, but I do have third turn with the Catalyst Elemental. Then when I get to 5, Fire Elemental comes down. First black deck I've seen. We're going to hide the fact that I've got red. Not that it really matters in the scheme of things. But why give them any more information that they don't need until they actually need it? Or until I need to reveal it. There's the Pyromancer. Go to 18. I will play like a smart magic player for once. Wait till second main to drop land and cast. Be looking at my land, buddy. No blocks. Let's see what he wants to drop. Izareth the Awakener. Okay, I need a land, and I drew it. Perfect. Perfect. Gonna catch him while he's tapped out. One more lets me drop either the Spark Tongue Dragon or the Fire Elemental. And let's face it, the Elemental's bigger. Well, that's gonna hurt. Fire Elemental also blocks the hostile Minotaur quite nicely. Rustwing Falcon. Pass turn. Looks like we'll be making some difficult blocks this turn. And possibility of getting blown out by Sure Strike. Alrighty. 3-2 Menace. Bad juju. Sacrifice it to add 2 red. Drop the Fire Elemental. Nice Pledge would make my creature much bigger, but then I run into the risk of murder. God. I just feel that Sure Strike coming. There it is. Come on, dude. Click accept. Folks, if you're going to play the game, learn to click resolve. Don't sit around and relish your play. There'll be plenty of time to do that later. I'm going to go ahead and concede. This game's just irritating me. I'm at 8. I can't drop anything this turn. He's got power on the board. My chances of coming back are nil. So 4 and 2. But yeah, it's like, he cast it, Sure Strike, and then he sits there. It's like, yes, I understand. You cast Sure Strike. Go ahead and click Resolve. Move the damage. Well, I guess he doesn't wait to hit Resolve. He just hit the damage button. But hit the damage button, let the damage go through, and move on with the game. Play in a timely fashion. Play the way you would at Friday Night Magic, with a judge breathing down your neck if you're going to play slow. Or better yet, maybe at a Grand Prix. Slow play is not acceptable. I know I'm making more of that one incident than it's probably worth doing, but slow play is one of those things that really irritates me with Arena. Excuse me. There is little point to it happening, but it just seemed to happen on a regular basis. Since I'm mana screwed, I may as well make that a 5-3 and swing for what damage I can. If he doesn't have a kill spell for it, it's going to end up very bad for him. Another land is what I was hoping for. Sigiled Sword. Equip it next turn. Start making knights. Ravenous Harpy is really going to attack? Okay, dude. Do you have a murder or something? Let's see. It's delaying like he has a spell to cast. You're letting me move to make a knight. Got a combat trick? Maybe? Oh, that's it. That's your trick. Alright. That works. It's a nice little trick. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and drop a Hasty Minotaur. And we're going to start really pounding in for damage. This is 12 on board. No, 14, because I'm going to make a knight. He's going to go ahead and block and make this Harpy bigger, but he'll still be taking 7. Putting them to 6. Arresto Swiftclaw now represents lethal itself. Oh, he's playing two colors. Well, I got a shock for the Daggerback Basilisk. And I got a Knight's Pledge for the Hostile Minotaur. Go ahead and say the good game to my opponent since they said it to me. Swing lethal guaranteed. Now see, that time I was guilty of it. Normally when I have lethal, I just attack straight up, be done with it. Instead, I cast a spell beforehand, did this stuff I didn't need to. But you never know what your opponent might have in that kind of situation. If he didn't have any cards in hand, it'd be a whole different matter. Folk Trickster, that's a nice one. So, 5 and 2. One win away from the break-even. Actually, it's not even really the break-even point. You pay $750, at 6 wins you get $850, so you're actually coming out ahead. Plus, you get to keep all the cards you drafted. And I drafted some good stuff. I'm going to keep it. I may regret it, but I'm going to keep it. And there's the planes, so it's going to work out. We'll drop Swiftclaw. I don't have the Sigiled Sword. That's alright. Millstone! Love it. Love it. Dario Gis, whatever your name is. I love it. Drop a Swiftclaw. Now let's see if my opponent's actually going to try and mill me out or not. I would love to see a draft mill deck. And there's the Psychic Corrosion. Oh my goodness. Now I really got to race my opponent. So we're going to go ahead and drop the Knight's Pledge. Keep the shock up. He may go ahead, excuse me, they may go ahead and Luminous Bonds or something to Swiftclaw, but I got 5 damage in. There goes 2 cards, a Plains and a Fire Elemental. Looks like he's looking at my creature really hard. I can drop the Hostile Minotaur next turn. That's going to help. Revitalize. 3 life, draw a card. That's the deck that Revitalize is good in for this. Can't argue with it. So, Hostile Minotaur, because it is a hasty creature, is going to add to the pressure. Get a mill in response. Because I got 8 coming in. That puts you on a 2-turn timer. Actually, a 1-turn timer. You don't know about the shock I have in hand. There's Disperse. That's going to slow me down. So, mill 2 mountains. Here's the problem. His hand is getting light on cards. Go ahead and cast first main because I want the hasty creature. Does he have a counterspell? Poke Pinchy McSting Butt. Cancel. Yep, he does. That'll slow me down a turn. Drafting a control mill deck in draft. Gotta give the props. Mill it into turn. You milled a Mountain and a Havoc Devils, and then now Plains and make a stand. Hostile Minotaur swings in, and he lets it through. We're going to drop the Havoc Devils, which is a 4/3. Because the Dragon Egg does me no good right now. He's going to go ahead and cancel that. He's on a 3-turn timer. I've got enough cards, I think, maybe to outlast him. Her, it, them. Down to 13 cards. Well, this is looking rather bad. My Banefire still appears to be in the deck. 2 cards in hand. I'm going to go ahead and drop that because Swiftclaw has just as much damage as the Minotaur. Or as the dragon. So that's going to resolve. I'll go down to 10 cards in hand. They will take 1 and go to 6. I will drop the Swiftclaw and hope to draw Banefire. Not in the graveyard. Mill, go to 8. They draw, I go to 6. I have to kill them next turn. I have 6 damage on the board. They have 2 cards in hand. If I draw Banefire, they can get rid of 1 creature and I can still win the game. They're going to mill me again. There goes the Sigiled Sword, sadly. Which if I drew it, I wouldn't be able to cast it and activate anyway. That is not a Banefire. Damage? Oh! 3 cards left and he ran out of control. 6 and... is it 1 or 2? So 6 and 2. 1 win away from the dream. At the very least, I have made my investment back and extra. Counting the fact I got a Nicol Bolas and a Vivian Reed, so I've pulled 2 legendaries. Or not legendary, mythics. Banefire was one of the 3 cards left in deck. If he had pulled any control card to keep a creature from dealing damage, lowering damage, bouncing a creature, he would have won that. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Gaxer. Alright, this will be the deciding factor. If I lose the game, I go 6 and 3. If I win, I go 7 and 2. I get to go first with a hand that's actually pretty good. Can't argue. If I draw the 3rd land, I got Sigiled Sword online. We got Reliquary Tower first. There's not a land, but we got Swiftclaw. Don't know what color they're playing since they dropped Reliquary Tower first. And the fact they dropped that first makes me wonder. What do they got? What do they not got? White. Field Creeper. Mana. Perfect. Sword. Sigil Sword of Valeron. No attackers. Equip that and start the beatdown. And if I really want to start the beatdown, shock something out of the way if possible. Or not. We're not going to block. I'd have to draw a mountain to be able to shock something. So, equip the sword. Yes, he's going to go ahead and block Swiftclaw. That's alright. I'll make a 2/2 knight. Or he can block the knight with the Novice Knight, but that seems like it'd be a really bad idea to me. What do I know? Let's go ahead and shock the Novice Knight. That'll finish it off and get 1 blocker out of the way. So he's got a land that came into play tapped. Luminous Bonds, maybe? No. He's going to go ahead and leave a blocker back. He'll block the Swiftclaw, I suspect. Yep, there it is. Then down comes Havoc Devils. I'm in great shape this game. I'm feeling good about this. I could still lose. I mean, there's magic. Oh, see? 4/4. That's bad. That's alright. I'm pretty much going to force a block out of him. Them. By doing this. Yes, they're going to get some lifelink. If they don't, yeah, they're going to go ahead and do that. But that's, honestly, I think that's a really bad idea. He's down they're down to 5. They can go up to 7 if they swing. Oh, he's going to go ahead and fly. That'll guarantee 6 damage, putting me at 12, but I block both the 1/1s, and the crackback kills them. They have another combat trick. That would be good if they did. Mighty Leap, yep. Doesn't bother me in the least. So, boom. 1, 2, 3. Catalyst Elemental comes down. I'm swinging 6 uncontested. They are now at 3. I'm at 12. I can drop the Spark Tongue next turn, which guarantees a 3, or I can wait till I have enough mana, 2 more mana, and Spark Tongue can bolt, which means Fire Elemental would actually be a better choice, because the game stalls out for some reason. Spark Tongue Dragon can be a excellent finisher. Or I could just draw Banefire. They'll go to 5. They have a combat trick that can improve the life gain they're about to get. They do not. They must have something second main phase. A Cleansing Nova. Well, I mean, that will certainly do it. I will drop the Fire Elemental this turn. One more turn, one more land, I can Spark Tongue Dragon and bolt my opponent for 3. Fire Elemental may be all I need, though. They're going to gain 3 and draw a card. Well, back up to 8 again. But that doesn't save them. Without a blocker, I equip the Sigiled Sword and swing 9. So, risk time comes down. I still have enough to cast the Havoc Devils if this doesn't do it. 7 and 2. Living the dream. So the reward for this, reassembling skeleton, no big. Let's claim the prize. 950 gems and 2 packs. And we'll go ahead and open the packs before I end my stream for tonight. See what I got. I got a Millstone. Got a Lightning Strike. I already have a playset of my Lightning Strike, though. Prodigious Growth. Nobody cares. This will put me 1 pack away from a Mythic Wildcard, which is nice. Heroic Reinforcements is nice. Banefire. There's a playset of them. Alrighty, well, that worked out great. Nice little Boros deck. They managed to go 7 and 2. Can't argue with that. So, until next time, I'll see you later.